Hey hello my bookish beauties and welcome back to my channel. I am Alice aka the Book Muffin, and today I'm going to be doing a video on my Halloween recommendations. So let's get on with the video. So as you guys may have noticed, I didn't manage to get around to doing a Monday upload. I did post about that on Instagram. So this is just because I have like a really busy schedule at the moment. I have just started a part-time job and I've just started back at uni, so I'm going to try and keep the bulk of the videos for this channel going and try and get out at least a video a week for you guys. You'll just have to bear with me. I'll be keeping updates going on Instagram and things. So yeah, but I'm back again today. Back again to make another spooky type video with my little bits of Halloween decorations and the pop vinyls have moved around. So yeah, let's get started, shall we, with some Halloween recommendations. So I have picked for this Halloween recommendations video a big mix of books because I understand that some people may be, you know, younger and want something more comical-esque but still like a little bit seasonally appropriate, or some people might like full-on ghost stories, all that kind of thing, and some people like me might prefer thriller, crime thriller, all that kind of jazz. So I'm just gonna start going through and I'll tell you just a little bit about each book, but obviously not too much, so you guys can decide if you want to pick it up. But these are just my personal recommendations that I think people might enjoy. This book I'm not going to talk too much about is Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. I am not going to talk too much about this book because I did mention this book in my TBR for this month. So if you guys want to hear a little bit more about it, I suggest that you head there. But this book is basically about a girl and her family who join up with this archaeologist who's investigating like ritual grounds, and then weird stuff starts happening in her life. So it does have ghosts involved in it, which I thought was pretty good. But if you don't have much time, this one's always a good little read. I mean, this will be really handy for me at the moment because I am a busy bee. The second book that I'm going to recommend is also part of my October TBR, so I have spoke about this previously, so if you want to see a little bit more detail, check out my previous video. But basically this is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. This book, this girl is involved in a car crash which kills her friends and her boyfriend, and basically she then starts being able to see the ghosts of them, I'm going to say ghosts, after her experiences in the car crash, and also she can see people's deaths before they happen, so she appears to have like tapped into some sort of paranormal ability. So yeah, another ghost type read. Ones I am going to mention again in a briefer esque note, just because people will hear me talking about them way too much, is One of Us is Lying and Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. I spoke about these so much and I just can't hype them up enough. I love them. So if you're looking for a thriller-esque read but you don't want anything too hit and heavy for this season, I recommend that you read One of Us is Lying. If you want something that's a bit heavier and has a bit more gore-esque type element, Two Can Keep a Secret. One of Us is Lying is about a boy who is apparently murdered in detention, in which there are only 4 other students there, who all are there under weird circumstances, and it's revealed that this guy who died had some dirt on them, and it builds on the fact that he was going to dish this dirt on these characters just before he died, which is suspicious and puts them all under investigation by the police. So, a murder-esque book. To Keep a Secret is about some twins that go back to their mum's hometown where previous high school girls have been murdered, and it appears like the killer who has murdered the 2 previous high school girls, one of which is their auntie, is back and is prepared to kill again one of the nominees for prom queen this year, of which one of our main characters becomes one of the nominees. So this book was so deep, so good, honestly, I can't hype it up enough, so definitely check it out. Again, I spoke more about those 2 books in my recent reads video, so if you'd like a little bit more of an in-depth review, you can check there, or if you'd like even more than that, you can check out my Goodreads. But I never put spoilers on Goodreads. I might do a full video review if you guys would like. Please let me know in the comments below if that's something that you would like, or, you know, feel free to DM me on Instagram about any of these kinds of things, because I always like staying in contact, and I like to get feedback on my videos, and you know, it's nice to be building roots in this community because it's full of such brilliant people. The next book that I'm going to talk about is more of a, people say it's more of a child's book. I don't think so. This is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. So this book, I mean, this book is brilliant. I don't know if you've ever seen the film as well. I love the film. It freaks a lot of people out, I know that for sure, but I love it. I want to have one of her little pop vinyls on my shelf. But basically, this is about a family who move into this house. It has lots of different apartments in this one massive house. And we follow Coraline, a little girl who doesn't feel like she has enough of anything in her life. She's craving attention and adventure, and one day she discovers a little door in this house which takes her to another world which is parallel to her own, in which there is parallel people. The only thing is they all have weird buttons for eyes, and they seem to want to convince Coraline that it might be a good idea to stay in their world than her own. So this is just a brilliant read. I mean, again, it's one of these nice little short ones. The next book that I want to talk about is this, Hocus Pocus, and this is the all-new sequel to Hocus Pocus. Now, I have read Hocus Pocus and I have not read the sequel, so I'm looking forward to getting around to this. But basically, if you haven't heard what Hocus Pocus is, there are these children and teenagers who go into this house, and basically in the house there seems to be all this like weird old creepy stuff, and the whole town knows witches used to live there, and they have these strong belief in witches, and the witches lived in this house. So with all this old creepy stuff around, one of which is a candle, the kids light the candle, releasing the witches. And so basically the witches can wreak havoc on the town that once many years ago basically put them to rest. So, and it's the kids trying to stop the witches before midnight. So it is a really good book. It's not too intense. Again, this is one that I would say quite a few age ranges can enjoy this book. I personally did, and I am yet to read what the sequel is about, but I will let you know shortly, hopefully, even though I have like a massive TBR already. So the next book I have to read is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I also have the Hollow City and the Library of Souls, and I'm yet to get the last book. But basically, I mean, this book is so creepy. You only have to look at the imagery in this book. Like, look at some of the imagery in this book. They're so creepy. Basically, this book is about a teenage boy who, after a very strange family accident, goes to realise, with some weird photos, that there may be some otherworldly beings out there, and there may be some otherworldly people out there. And when he accidentally also discovers this weird building in the middle of nowhere with a strange woman running it, he starts to realise that this woman is running this orphanage with children with these mysterious powers. But the problem is the children are in danger because it appears that whoever caused the family accident may actually be after the children, and he may be more connected to this world than he ever could have imagined. So this is just, if it isn't for the creepiness of the book, this isn't extreme horror. So again, this is one that I feel like a lot of people can get something from around the season. I mean, I think they are brilliant books. So you should definitely check them out. There are 3 others out now after that one, as I previously mentioned. So just be aware that that is a series, not just a book. So I'm recommending the whole series there. But obviously I'm only going to tell you about the first one. The next book that I would like to recommend for your Halloween reading is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. This book has been so hyped up on BookTube that it is crazy. It's just been hyped up for so many years. So many years? Or so many months? No, I think years. Because the series has expanded drastically since then. I believe there's 3 more books? 3 more books, I think. I'm hopefully going to be getting the rest of the series for Christmas this year because I am really intrigued in reading the others, but as for now I only have the first one. So this book is about, after the death of our main character's mother, she decides that she wants to go down a very different path in life, and she decides that she wants to be a woman who can work in forensics and, you know, investigating dead bodies and looking into clues for murders. And during her time doing this work, she starts to become intrigued and pulled in by the crime of the serial killer Jack the Ripper. So yeah, we just follow her story and her investigation through this time, and her struggling as well to try and prove that she can be a woman and do these kinds of jobs as well that are predominantly for men in an era that, we'll say, frowned upon women working in certain jobs. So yeah, this is just, it just has a very, very creepy vibe around it. This is a YA read. It does tackle more gore and things, more serious topics than I think most of the previous books that I've spoken about. So we're sort of building up a little bit. The next book that I wanted to talk about is Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. This book is it's very, very pretty. I always liked the design of this book. So, I mean, there isn't much under the dust cover, I have to say, but the dust jacket, very pretty. So, this book is about dark magic and witches and zombies, which you wouldn't really think. But basically what happens is this girl's best friend and I believe 2 other girls die. It's under suspicious circumstances, but our main character can't just leave it to rest that her best friend just died so weirdly, because everyone's trying to pass this off as some sort of suicide pact, and she knows her friend better than to be doing something like that. So she decides to involve dark magic, and she brings the girls back to life. But they only have so long left alive and they don't remember a thing about why they died. So now you have the main character trying to keep all these girls who have just come back to life in one place and trying to find out what happened to them and why and how they died. So it's just brilliantly spooky for this time of year. It sounds somewhat comical as well, and it is a good YA read. The next book that I want to recommend is Unearthly Things by Michelle Gagnon. I think I'm pronouncing her surname right. But this book basically has the main character, Janie, whose parents have died in a tragic accident, and then she's weirdly whipped up by new guardians, I believe the Rochesters? The Rochesters, who appear to be quite rich and possibly taking on the responsibility to look after her under false pretenses. And there's also 2 love interests that Janie has to tackle between, but amongst all this sort of YA-esque stuff, there's weird noises that seem to be coming from the attic. So Janie starts to get quite suspicious of the family. So yeah, I just thought this one sounded really weird. I don't see this recommended enough. I saw this recommended on one video ages ago though, so I couldn't tell you who recommended it. But I started looking into it more and it's got such good reviews, so I would definitely check this one out, especially if you're into sort of more YA, ghosty, paranormal-esque books. Okay, and the final 2 are more, I've been warned, high class sort of thriller slash, well, they're mostly thriller, but like scarier books, I'm just gonna say. I know that kind of simplifies it, but... So, the next book I'm going to talk about is The Whisper Man by Alex North. So in this book, we follow Tom and Jake. Tom has lost his wife and Jake has lost his mum, and they're devastated from the accident, so they move away to a little village. But 20 years ago, there appears to have been some boys going missing in this village, and not long after they've been there, there is a story of another boy that has gone missing. But during these stories, Jake apparently has started hearing weird whispering at his window at night. I picked this up thinking it was a horror or some paranormal. Apparently this is a crime thriller. So the original crime, the original 20 years ago boys that are missing, the person that was convicted of the crime is serving time in prison. So it's like, how can these goings on still be happening? So yeah, this sounds so creepy, so sort of ominous. I definitely wouldn't be reading it without the lights on and it being daytime, let me just say that. So yeah, the final book that I have to recommend for my Halloween reads is The Chalkman by C.J. Tudor. Now, this book is probably, I'm going to say, more on the scary side again, but it does give me very much Stephen King vibes. So this book is about a group of children who are on the cusp of teenhood, and they communicate to each other via these little Chalkman drawings that they leave all around their hometown for each other to let them know where like each other's going, or to say where they've been, all these kinds of things. And this is just this little code that this gang have. I believe there is 4 boys and 1 girl in this gang. And so yeah, one day though, these Chalkmen have been drawn, but it leads them to a dismembered body. And it's sort of like, if the kids didn't draw it, then who did? And why would they lead them to this dead body? So it's sort of a bit thrillery in that sense, a bit of a who and why, but yeah, I think this is really creepy for the season. This is an adult thriller-esque book though, not YA, but I'm sure, you know, you'd get some good thrills out of it for, you know, young adults and adults. So yes, that is all the books that I have to recommend for Halloween this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have read any of these books, please let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if you have any other recommendations for myself or others that you've read this year for the Halloween period and you think we should take note of, please let me also know in the comments below. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!